Hi there, this is just a rough and ready video to help you through the process of requesting a speech yourself. You can obviously contact me if you want to do a speech, contact me and I'll slot it in somewhere, but you can elect to do it yourself in EasySpeak, and it is a good thing to be able to do because it helps me record everything you've done. So the first thing you to do is go to easyspeak.org. This will give you this screen here. Your username is something that you should have. Your password is something that you should have. If you don't have a username, you'll need to contact the VPE and she'll give you that username. And if you don't have a password, just log in and put your username in and then click I forgot my password, and EasySpeak will send you emails that will enable you to reset your password. But I know my password, and I also know that this retains my things I've put in before. So I know that if I click in that box and put in an M, up will come Margaret9, which is my username. And I know what my password is. So that will log me in to EasySpeak. And over here you've got a selection. You may have some of these in here, you may not, but you'll certainly have Business Focus. So just go to Business Focus. Now, see how that screen looks like it does? That's because I'm the VPE and the EasySpeak knows I am. So it gives me a different screen to what you'll see. So I just have to go to the club member view so that I can show you what you will see. When you open this up, it will automatically seem to default to the next meeting, which in this case is the 10th of October. And you can see I send an email. The first email I send out is sent out about a week after the last meeting. And it basically says, are you coming? And some people click on it and say, yes, I'm attending, or no, I'm not. And some people don't. So you can always call me, but you can see that for instance, I said I was coming, and I do the forward program check. Lorraine said she's coming. She's going to be the general evaluator, and that allows her to have marked off in her competent leader manual, project number 8, the role of evaluator. And if you do this, you'll quickly get that competent leader manual completed. There's not that many things in it. Then you see that Deslin's done the same. I've arbitrarily invited Tendai, that's why I've assigned him that role, and he'll receive an email, then he can say yes or no to it. But really what I want to have you look at today is how to request a speech. So over here on the left hand side you'll find this box, My Participation. Second one down, Request a Speech. This is your request a speech screen. It's got 3 tabs in it. You need to have the cursor over it so that it reveals the link. And I always start from the back to the front, and that'll become obvious why I do that in a minute. So I'm going to request a speech for the 28th of November, just because I can, and my second preference is for the 9th of January. Now, don't worry about these. I do them as I get to them, and I probably should go in and do a few more as we're getting close to the end of the year. But that's the selections that I've preferred, and you don't have to save it yet, but you do have to ultimately save it. The next tab across is the workbook. Now this is the workbooks that you've got open. I'm going to request this speech in Speaking to Inform. So I'm going to click on Speaking to Inform. But before I do, see this here, Start a New Workbook. This enables you at no cost in EasySpeak to open, say, an interpretive reading manual, which I don't have open currently. Say you want to do a speech out of that, or you've got something coming up you want to do, or you've got a public relations thing, or entertaining speaking, whatever. It enables you to open a workbook. And if you were to do that, it would then appear down in here. But it doesn't replace the paper manual, because Toastmasters is about evaluation, and those speeches, as you do them, need to be evaluated. So whatever workbooks you have, make sure that you bring them with you. So, as I said, I'm going to request a speech to do in that manual, and I've completed these. It tells you that I've completed those, and I have a schedule speech. You can see that I've got a speech scheduled for the 14th of November, but I'm going to request this speech. And the reason why I said, part of the reason why I work backwards is this screen gives you the objectives of the meeting, and there's a reason for that, and I'll go into that in a minute. So I'm going to click on the radio button over here. Seems to do the same thing. I don't know why. So that tells it I want to do it out of that manual. Then I click over to speech title, and I put in the title of my speech. Put in for 28th of November, and this is that. The reason why I've got you to note the objectives is that you need to put in here. You need to put in an introduction, so that the person who's introducing you on the night has access to that information prior to, and can be prepared to do that. So you can put in how long you've been in Toastmasters, what your goals are, how Toastmasters has been a benefit to you, and the information about the objectives will appear automatically when this finds its way to the agenda meeting. So I've done all of those things, and you can see here my first preference, 28th of November, and I've just put this in as a title to remind me to delete it. So you have to save that. Now, you're basically finished. If you had time to read that little dialogue box, it says that what happens is it gets sent to the VPE, and the VPE's job is to allocate speeches. If we've got 10 people wanting to do a speech on the one night, then that's not going to work. So the VPE gets an email to say that you've requested a speech, then the VPE goes in and actually assigns a speech. And that's what that little question mark says, that it's been requested, but it has not been assigned yet. And if you want to delete something, obviously you can delete that as well. You can see that when I mentioned before that I had another speech already requested, this is it here, and as it has been assigned, it's got the little clock face as opposed to the question mark. So that one hasn't been allocated by the VPE, this one has. And you can go in and change things, and that edit pencil will take you where you want to go. So basically, that's it. So the VPE will do what she does, and then you'll receive a further email. Hope that's been helpful.